You're in the middle of the hottest market, the Southeast ever, right?
Ever.
Everybody's, you don't even got to take photos of houses to sell them. You just draw it with a crayon.
It was insane.
And people are making offers. You find this piece of land, you get it. You don't think you're getting it. You're moving. Now you're building, and now you got all these pieces. You're moving in.
And I was sick.
And yeah, that's what I was going to say. Where did that tie in to this whole piece?
So in 2015 was the first time I had breast cancer. It was stage 2 then. I had a double mastectomy, complete hysterectomy. I did everything possible to keep it from coming back. And I tested in the lowest bracket of it coming back. So I didn't have to have chemo. I didn't have to have radiation after the first go round of it. Then in 2020, when we bought our land, do you remember the last big snow we had was actually 2021, January,
Yep.
2021. Well, we have this huge hill at our farm where we built our house at the top. You've seen pictures. The house at the top is a huge, steady hill. So, of course, my nephews, who I adore, my sister, all of us, my family's very close. So we were like, we're going to the farm. So we go to the farm, we're sledding, and my back had been killing me, but I was an athlete in school. I hurt my back in school, had back surgery at 24. For me to throw my back out it's not unusual. So threw my back out there in the snow. My sister and I, we love each other, but we are sisters and we still get on each other and are smart alecks with each other. And she said something smart to me. So I proceeded to push her down the hill very aggressively. And the minute I did, my back popped. And I immediately walked to the truck and got in the truck. I knew it when I did it. And that snowballed into trying to figure out why it wasn't getting better. Because I don't know if you've ever had back problems.
100%.
But normally you can figure out a way to baby it and get it better. Takes a little time. But as we age, we figure out those things that work. It just wasn't getting better. And, we just closed on our land. We closed with a construction loan. So we had to get moving. We had to get the house done. So we proceeded to build, all kinds of stress. I was selling 21 and 23 were my best years ever. So I had contracts flying everywhere. I didn't really have time to realize I was losing weight. I knew I wasn't sleeping, but I don't sleep a lot anyway. But I had not realized I had been adding pillows about every week to try to get comfortable. My husband probably realized it more than I did. And finally in November, almost a year, I had lost about probably close to 30 pounds. We thought it was stress from building the house, contracts at work. We thought it was real estate related. And finally, I got a PA or a physician's assistant that has a place in Gaffney at a clinic to see me because I was past 5 years. Cancer wasn't on my radar. And she said, we're going to give you 4 weeks on anti-inflammatories, muscle relaxers, see if we can get your back better. And if it's not better in 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to do an MRI because you can't. She said, I can tell you're not sleeping. And I said, no, ma'am. And so that happened. I was worse 4 to 6 weeks. It was really getting bad then. And sent me for MRI. We had to pay for it because the insurance denied it. To this day, I have some really hard feelings about how insurance handles cancer patients or people who have had cancer. Because if it had not been for my husband, I don't think I would be here today. Because he stood up when they called and said, no, you can't have the MRI. We're denying it. You can go to physical therapy and you can do this and you can do that. Well, TJ, I couldn't stand up. I was at a point where I had Visine in my car because I was crying driving. When I would get to a client's house or to show a house, I'd have to put Visine in my eyes, clean up, get out of the car, slide out of the car. I couldn't step out of the car. I had to slide. And they wanted me to go to physical therapy for 6 months. and take anti-inflammatories before they would pay for the MRI. And my husband was like, how is she going to do physical therapy when she can't stand up? She's not sleeping, she's not eating, you know. So that snowballed into the MRI showed innumerable. I read my file, and you talk about a train wreck. I mean, we really thought that Thanksgiving of 21, actually 20, it was 2020, was probably my last Thanksgiving and Christmas. My diagnosis came the week before Thanksgiving, is when the MRI came back, and she walked in the room and she had tears in her eyes. The doctor did. And God had given me a peace that I did not mentally go there. So she had to really get in my face and say, your cancer's back. It's not good. It is in your bones, and I will get you to who you need to go to. But I knew it was bad. So I called my husband. You know, it just snowballed from there. So at that point, I was diagnosed. I had innumerable tumors / however you want to call it, because when it's in your bones, it shows up as calcifications. I had so many just in my spine and torso, ribs, sternum, pelvis, and the lower part of my skull, that they could not count them all.
My gosh.
Yeah. So we had some reality checks real quick that week before Thanksgiving, and we were supposed to move in about 8 weeks. Our house was almost done. And, you know, we've made all these decisions based on me and my husband both healthy and working. You know, we've tried to do what we felt like God was leading us to do. So that next 8 to 12 weeks was really rough. You know, you go through a lot of emotions. I was mad. I was really mad at God. I was mad because we had made these decisions, and we wouldn't have made the same ones if we'd known. But now I'm far enough away from it. I look back and I see that it was all God's plan, because I feel so peaceful there. It's a place where I can go and be mad, and it's okay. I can walk around the farm, a lap around the farm, and see the deer and see the turkeys and the trees and the creek. And it is the most healing, peaceful place. And it's exactly where God wanted me to be while all this was going on. So I was diagnosed stage 4. We went from really, really thinking I wasn't going to be here very long. I'll never forget, and my husband doesn't. He does well in a crisis. I think it's one reason he's excelled at his job. You know, a lot of people don't. Middle of a crisis, they get wrapped up in the crisis. My husband doesn't. He will see a way through it. He's been my rock. And I will never forget when I knew it was bad, and I knew that he was going to kind of start moving some things around, and he called our builder, and he said, forget everything I said about we're going to finish the deck, and we're doing some things, because we enjoy that. We enjoy hands-on. He's in construction, but he's on the commercial side. I think we've talked about that. But he said, you do whatever you have to do. You call whoever you have to call, but we're moving in 2 weeks. And our builder said, do what? and it went from slowly, we're going to get in 8 weeks or so, to mock speed. We're going to be in for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so it started out pretty dark.